Wishing for the best. Let's see. All right. I think this is working now. All signs point to the fact that it's working. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, cool. Ross, thank you very much. All right. So I don't know what that was about, but apologies on that. So I think we lost just about everybody, but two of you guys. So shout out to the two soldiers that stuck it through. But yeah, I don't know what that was about. But we're glad we're back. And my apologies for the inconvenience and what will probably be a lot of confusion. I hope there's not two live streams floating around somewhere. So I'm going to just start everything over again now that we got this working. And since we barely got into the last one to begin with, give me just a second. My apologies. Just 1 second. Thank you very much.
Our goal is to help people cook some of the best dishes possible.
All right. Hi from Canada. Oh, thank you very much for stopping in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A Tribe, Kana, Elekade. Cool. Hey, I'm glad you guys came back. I apologize if you guys were here a little bit earlier. We had a disconnect, like a connection issue. It looks like we're all together again, so this is awesome. I'm gonna get to it so that I don't encounter that again. See if we can pin this to the top for those who want to know the woman of the moon or of the day. So we are in Onwa. So this is the moon of the earth. That's what that means, the moon of the earth or the earth moon, however you wish to phrase it. Onwa is, I'm going to explain what it is. I'm also going to explain the New Yam Festival and how we are going to celebrate our own digital New Yam Festival. It is a project I've been working on for the past two-ish moons, and I'm going to be rolling everything out at the end of this moon for everybody. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to explain what that is, but we're going to have a digital New Yam Festival to correlate with Onwana. And our own is going to be called Ntoju. Ntoju Ahianjoku. So, or just Ntoju to be short. So I'll type it here so you guys see the name, Ntoju. So the full name is Ntoju Ahianjoku, which is the growth of Ahianjoku, the growth of Njoku, the growth of the market. So we're not just talking about the new year, and we're talking about the growth that is accompanied with a harvest or that type of thing. I'm going to be breaking down how we're going to do it somewhere towards the end or the back end of the stream. So for those of you who are returning, I thank you very much. You know what I think caused the issue? I didn't break the cola and I started running my mouth. So, so maybe the ancestors were kind of set me right. So my apologies for not doing that correctly. So let me resume from where I left off at. Yay to the New Year Festival. All right. Yes. All right. So Okike Keruwa, Ana Mekelengi, Ojabiala, Alawala, Ala Nne Mmadụ na Nne Mmụọ, Ala Na-enye, Ala Ngozi, Ana Mekelengi, Ojabiala, Ana Mekele Ndị Eke, kelee ndị orie, kelee ndị afọ, kelee ndị nkwọ, kelekwe ndị mbụ na ndị egede, kelee ndị mmadụ na ndị mmụọ. Ọjị ike iwu ọjị ndụ, ọjị ike iwu ọjị uche, ọjị ike iwu ọjị ntoju, ọjị ike iwu ọjị ndidi. N'ọkọ ka dị na eke, n'ọkọ ka dị na orie, n'ọkọ ka dị na nkwọ, n'ọkọ ka dị na ise. All right. So as always, I gave acknowledgement to the creator, presented the Aji. I offer you this Aji, gave acknowledgement to the earth, who we are celebrating today, who we're discussing today. I offered her Aji. I offered Aji to the 4 market days. Ndimbu and Diegede. Ndimbu and Diegede are the ancestors before the ancestors. So Ndimbu are the ancestors before death became a thing or before death reached humanity, and then Ndiegede are the ancestors after. So we ourselves are part of that particular legacy and so forth. So gave acknowledgement to those ancestors. I was saying earlier, are you going to eat some? Hell yeah, I'm going to eat some. In fact, let me break it now so that we don't have the issue we had before. Oh yeah. Whichever one of my ancestors figured out how to get on YouTube was the one responsible. Oh yeah, so our OG broke in 2 pieces, right? So it broke in 2 pieces so that we are going to have a fruitful, a productive, and a blessed occasion and a blessed gathering. And for all those who receive it, or for all those who wish to receive what was offered by the OG, then we are one and we are together. So I don't know if y'all want me chewing during the stream, but so as I was saying, I acknowledged Ndimbu and Diegede, the ancestors before death and the ancestors after. If you don't know the name of your ancestors, or if you don't know any of your ancestors' names, you can use Ndi, Mbo, Ndi. I'm going to type it out for you. Egede. Ndimbu came before death. Egede came after. Ndimbu are our ancestors from, what was the era? I'm sorry, Ugaka, the first era, the beginning of humanity's arrival into the world. I have a video called The 4 World Ages, Uga, the UGA, 4 World Ages Explained. So if you want to know more about Ndimbu and Diegede, the first ancestors and the history of humanity's connection to Chukwu, or Chineke, let me say, throughout time and how that's changed and so forth, then I have that explained in that particular video. So I said that this OG was going to be an OG of patience, Ndidi, which clearly is necessary based on the issues I'm having today with YouTube. I said it was going to be an OG of gifts and blessings. I think I said Ngozi. I'm going to choke on my OG. I also said it was going to be an OG of life, Ndu. Ndoju, growth, like to grow and multiply and be plentiful. So all those who received it, then I'm hoping you're receiving all these things you will be receiving all these things in your life. And it's going to be on that way on Eke Day, on Uriye Day, on Afo Day, and on Ngwo Day. So wanted to find out more about the place of illegitimate children in Igbo culture. Kelvin, if I don't get to your question, I will answer that. I will most definitely get to it. I'll answer it. I'm going to grab some water. Ikenga Nation, look what you made me do. Hold on. Oh yeah, Kaibido. Kelvin, remind me to get to the question about illegitimate children in Igbo culture, because there's a lot to be said about that, and I think it's pretty interesting, and there's a lot of insight there, so I don't want to miss out on that question. But I'm going to go into breaking down the moon, because it's late and that kind of thing. That's what people are here for. So we are now in Onwa Ana. So this is a harvest moon. Most communities will either harvest on this moon or the moon prior, but this is the final harvest moon. I've never heard of a community harvesting after this moon, but if it does happen, it's not unlikely. It is all fall anyway. So Onwa Ana is the moon of the earth, right? So who is Ana? Ana is the earth herself, the earth mother. Now, I think a lot of you guys have seen my video explaining how the universe was created, right? Where Chukwu, or everything began as one thing, which is known as Atun, right? And so Atun separated because the chi element of Atun pulled itself away from the whole, right? Leaving the Eke element, creating what is known as Chineke, right? Now that Chineke is the whole of creation. So it is creator and creation, right? Chineke is creator and creation. Let's see there. From what I read, child whose mother is not married belongs to the father, I guess. But I read, yeah, Mr. Him alone, you're kind of correct. So the chi separates, right? And so as mythology would have it, the chi builds a pillared chamber that it keeps entering and exiting backwards, Eke opens the chamber to see what's going on. I'm paraphrasing, I'm going through it pretty quick. Opens the chamber, she explodes, and the scattering of her body, or that explosion, causes her to expand infinitely, right? And that expansion, that constant spiraling outwards, is known as the universe that we live in today. The symbol for Eke in Insibidi and in Uli, which by the way are one and the same. Insibidi and Uli are one and the same. I was talking to a patron of mine, and I'd say she's a friend. We had a pretty good conversation, and I was explaining the difference between Insibidi and Uli, and Insibidi is like an Uli fan fiction, if that makes it. If any of you guys are familiar with what I'm talking about, Insibidi is like an Uli fan fiction. Oh boy. Right, where somebody took the original thing and expanded on it and added new characters and a whole new dynamic, but the core of it is Uli. So in Uli and Insibidi, the symbol for Eke is an outward spiral. It is also the symbol for Akaraka, the universe, right? Or not, I'm sorry, Akaraka, which is your the palms on your hand, but it means more than the palms on your hand. It's more of the total encompassing of you. So it is the you that you can't see, which is the future you, the aspects of you that are not visible, such as the ancestors who may be following you, your babando or your star. All of those things are encompassed in Akaraka. So if you guys want me to do a video on Akaraka, comment on the YouTube, in any of the YouTube videos. I want to see a video on Akaraka and I'll spell it out. Oh boy, I hope that's not going to be a problem. Cool. Cachifo. I think somebody's taking off. Cachifo. Okay. All right, Cachifo now. But yeah, so Eke, after dying, she now reincarnates as Anna, as the earth, as the world. What does that mean? That means that the I'm trying to think of a way to be concise about this, but if you understand the relationship between Chineke, while in mythology and in a lot of conceptualizing, they are seen as two different things, or they're framed as two different things, Chineke is actually a single motion or a single force, right? Creator and creation. And one allows the other to be the other, right? So I am not a creator without a creation. A creation is not a creation without a creator. And both of them are two parts of a single movement, right? So one of the ways to think about it is, if I'm thinking of saying a word and then I say it, the chi is the thought of the word, the saying it and everything that comes after is the eke. So our ancestors linked all of those things as one single motion through time and space, which means that the earth, if you want to know Chuku, and if you want to know Eke Keruwa or Eke or Kamosu, if you want to know the two of them, you are seeing them both in the earth, right? God manifests itself as the earth. Creation manifests itself as the earth. The creator manifests itself as the earth, right? Chineke are almost like the thought. And this creation that we're in, the earth, is the reality of that thought. And they are one and the same, right? So for that reason, and for many other reasons, believe it or not, Anna in Igbo cosmology, in Igbo spirituality, in Igbo culture is more important, right? It's a hard word to say because it's always by choice by the individual, but it's more foundational and more important than even Chukwu and Chineke. Anna is actually the main thing, right? Is the main focus. Everything always goes back to Anna. Every single Abara needs Anna's permission before they act. Every single one. And the things that Chukwu or Chineke are to manifest in the world have already manifest, or they are already scheduled to manifest, right? So our ancestors don't often appeal to Chukwu for things because Chukwu is in a way past tense, right? So what is playing out is what Chukwu has already designed. You understand? It is Anna that people go to for intervention. It is Anna that is the intermediary between all of the forces that make the universe, and it's Anna that is actually the primary thing, right? So in Igbo cosmology, the earth is sacred. The earth is the most sacred thing that we as people will ever encounter, right? And more so than ourselves because it is older and it is the source of us, right? Is anybody getting like a sound, like a glung sound, or is it just on my end? I know I'm having an issue here. This is wild. Twee. Okay, so Chineke is the energy force behind creation, kinda. Chi is the unmanifest force behind creation. Eke is the manifest force behind creation, but it's all one single movement. So the example I use is if I'm thinking of writing a book, I'm thinking of it, and I'm also writing at the same time. The chi, the thinking, and the eke, the creation, are all one movement, right? They're all seen as one thing. But the universe itself, everything we're dealing with is eke, right? So eke is more than the energy. It is also the physical, like this is eke. Everything that is a part of creation is eke. I'm eke. Everything that we're dealing with is eke, right? But eke, remember, resurrects as Anna. So she is the hope I'm using the word right, fulcrum, or the main focus point of the resurrection of creation. She is creation, right? So that's why a lot of times in Igbo language, Uwa and Allah are interchangeable. You can use Uwa to say the world, which Uwa you can use to say universe as well. It's hard to explain, but it's just a plane, the plane of existence, right? So another thing, present tense. Yes, the past and present tense, exactly. So that type of thing. So chuku in this, chuku, the male chuku okike is the, it's hard to say this, but is a past tense. That makes sense. And everything that chuku has willed into the world is eke, which is also chuku, right? Ne chuku is the name in this case. It's known as ne chuku. It is also chuku. You understand, but it is the act of creation has been cast out. The a person, a debia that I was speaking to was explaining that a lot of, okay, my screen froze a little bit, so I was getting worried. A debia that I was speaking to was breaking down the word uwa to me. So the word uwa is based off the sound wa. You understand, and it's like scattering or casting out, right? So the thing that casted it out is the creator. The thing that was cast out is creation, right? Uwa, that type of thing. So to my Igbo brethren, happy New Year and festival. He said, yes, receive all G, receive all G. All right, so who is Anna then? Well, who is she? So the creation resurrects as Anna, right? So Anna is God. Anna is God. Anna is created in creation. You are encountering God when you're encountering the earth. If you want to know earth, that God manifests itself as the earth. If we're understanding this, remember the intention and then the manifestation. So it manifests itself as the earth. This particular planet that we are on is known as the mother of humanity, the mother of spirits, the mother of everything, right? It is from earth that all things come from. It is earth that is central to everything that we do. And what you'll see a lot of times in Odinala, right? Odinala, as it is on the earth. That's Allah, Allah is who we're talking about, right? Omenala is the other component, as we do on the earth. Omenala is used to say culture. Odinala is used to say cosmology or science or spirituality. What we're talking about today is Odinala. So sounds like someone receiving chat notifications. Yeah, I apologize. This is getting ridiculous. If you guys are still hearing them chat notification noises, I hear the gloms. Chineke is like the flow of one thing into another. Yes. Oh, jeez. All right, we're going to try to ignore this one. I think this chat will probably be short because I can't stop it at the moment, unfortunately. This is wild. And what's sad about this is, as far as chats go, this is the one I did the most preparation for. And all this wildness has happened. Can it be muted? No, it can't be muted. It is my computer notifying me of something very obnoxiously. So let me try something. Okay. Please, how can I connect to my Chi? Turn your volume down on your computer. Okay, that's one way. All right, let me do that then. Give me just a second. This is wild. Okay, you guys still here? Let me know if you hear it happen again, right? But I don't think it's going to be happening. So Ross, thank you very much for that. So as I was saying, the earth is central to everything. Okay, good, it's gone. The earth is central to everything. Did you guys hear it? No? Awesome. Okay, I think no problem means you guys aren't hearing it. So I hope you guys are hearing me. You're good. Didn't hear it. All right, good. All right. So Anna then becomes the central point of everything, right? She is the Odin, she's the Allah in Odinala, right? Everything we're trying to figure out is how to relate with this particular force and this particular manifestation, which is the earth, which is what we live on, which is what sustains us, which is what gives us life and gives us place and gives us body and everything like that, right? We are made of earth and so forth. So another particular facet about her, or Anna is awful. Now, if you've watched my most recent video, Alpha Explained, there's a lot that goes into explaining what the Alpha is. But if you remember, every Alpha is fashioned either in a very abstract way or in a very obvious way as a woman, right? One of the most telling Alpha, she has, I have a picture of it. She has a spiral and they're all different, by the way. They're all different, but she has spiral earrings, and throughout many Alpha, you'll see those spiral symbols, right? And that represents that Onwa, that Eke, that casting. You understand? Onwa, the divine feminine. The divine feminine then resurrects as the earth, right? And the Alpha is a manifestation of that earth, right? So if you remember in Igbo cosmology, a lot of things are forces. Most things are forces moving through time and space rather than physical things, right? We deal with a world of forces rather than a world of things. So when I say, for example, like Eke is a force. On one plane, it is the earth, Anna. On another plane, it is woman, right? It is a woman, most specifically a mother, right? On another plane, it is an Alpha. And all of these physical manifestations are different perspectives onto the same exact force. So that if you understand one, you're going to understand a lot more or a little more about the other, right? Can hear you clearly. The glum is gone. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that, Glum. Like I said, I'll never prepare again. This is the most prepared I tried to be ever. And here we are. Notice a place in Hawaii called Alamona. I found that place interesting considering the Ala story behind the Moana character. You'd have to tell me a little bit more about the Hawaiian location, kind of, but thank you very much for that, right? So now, because she is Alpha, because Anna, the earth is Alpha, there's a particular characteristic that she has. There's a particular way that she has. A couple of the things that are key to remember about this particular energy, right? One, she also manifests as the Afo day, as the Afo day. So there's Eke, Uri, and then the third day, which is my day, Afo, and then Nkwo. You understand? She is Afo, that's her, right? Another thing to remember is the Afo, now they are pronounced differently, but Afo the day and Afo the stomach are one and the same. They come from the same roots, or they're the same kind of energy, the same energy is being described, right? Or the same movement through time and space is being described. And so a lot of what relates to her relates back to the stomach. One thing you'll come to learn is that a lot of the Abara have different body parts that they manifest as. And when things like rituals are done, there's specific reasons why this particular animal part will be used, or this particular thing will be drawn on that particular part of the body, because all of these things manifest on the physical body as well. And she is the stomach. She is the stomach, right? For all people, that type of thing. Isn't she Eke Day as well? It's hard to explain, but no, she's not Eke Day. No, she's not Eke Day. She's Afo. Anna is the stomach, but they're all kind of connected. Now, here's the interesting thing about the 4 market days. I don't know if I've said this in a video already or if I was keeping it in the stash for another one, but if you follow the sequence of the creation story that I've shared on the channel multiple times, with the beginning with Eke, right? Now, if you understand that Eke is associated with fire, is associated with the dawning of the sun, the rising, or is it dawn? The rising of the sun, right? The Eke, that explosion, associated with light, with fire, that type of thing, that explosion. And then Eke, of course, Kamosu, the beginning, right? The next thing that happens in that story is Chuku cries a bed of tears that he buries his wife in, right? The second day is Urie. So we go from fire in the beginning of the story to Urie, water, right? And then comes Afo, the earth. And that is her resurrecting again. Afo is associated with soil. The Afo day is associated with soil. That's why they say Mwafo when you want to say somebody who is a real Igbo man, or a real Igbo woman. You'll say Mwafo, a son of the soil or a child of the soil. It's not son of the soil. Mwa is child. Child of the soil means somebody who's really, traditional, that type of thing, which I'll talk about that a little bit as well, because it goes back into her nature too. So the third day is the earth day, the soil day, Afo, right? And then after that is Nkwo. Now, if in the end or towards the end of everything, what happens is the Ikuku Kamosu, the winds of Kamosu, is blown onto the waters and the earth, and it causes the separation between earth and water. And officially, that breath also gives the earth life, and that causes the resurrection and the reincarnation. Sorry, I keep saying resurrection. The reincarnation of Eke as Anna, or Nechuku as Anna. Right. So if you follow the 4 market days, there's kind of a reason they're set in a very specific order. And that specific order also is highlighted in the sequence of the story. So she's not Ekede, if that makes sense. She's Afo, but they're all, it's all one movement through time. So she's associated with the stomach, right? She is also associated with tradition, right? She's also associated with tradition. Anna is very traditional. Anna is very lack of better terms, old school. Anna is the one that makes sure things are done as they are said. So one thing about Alfa is that what you speak onto the Alfa will take in, right? And the Alfa will keep you to it. So if you make a promise to Anna, she's going to keep you to it. And she's very blind as far as how she does punishing, or as far as how she enacts the violation, or revenges violation, that kind of thing, that type of thing. So what you speak onto the earth becomes law. For this reason, sand, earth itself, soil is awful. And an individual holding soil, if you're holding soil and swearing on that soil, you got to really, 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 really mean it. That type of thing, because you're swearing on the highest form of I can't think. You're swearing on the high form of all fall. Another thing that is said by our ancestors is that you don't swear onto the stomach of a pregnant woman, right? Similar reason. You don't swear onto the stomach of a pregnant woman. They'll also say "nwatabu mo," right? A child is more. So the child within is more, is closer to more than maru, and as they're born, they become more balanced, that type of thing. But speaking onto the pregnant stomach of a woman is something. I mean, you got to be serious, right? That type of thing. So all of these things are exemplary of her nature, right? So when our ancestors go to a particular land and they want to settle there and they want to call it home, or maybe let's say you buy a new home and okay, I'm going to set up my home here, right? They make a promise to the earth. That's when you grab the aja and you make a promise to the earth, right? And you say, reveal your way to me, reveal your laws to me, that type of thing. Once it is revealed, those rules, or maybe the promises you make to the earth, become what's called Iwu Allah, the law of the land. And I'll type it out so that you guys can research it on your own time. For those of you who are patrons, you can check out the library. I have quite a law on Iwu Allah and a law on Anna herself. So those laws become Iwu Allah. Now, the keeping, if you remember what the Alfa is, the keeping of those laws allows you to stay on that land and will give you the ogun, right, necessary to live on that land. So it would be fruitfulness and so forth. The violation of those laws creates what is called nso, or aru, or is an aru. An aru is an abomination. And it creates what is called nso. So the force of a sin or a force of a violation is a vibration in itself, right? So let's say for most communities, almost universally, the Iwala is going to be no incest, and which differs from the Western idea of incest, because your in-laws are also your siblings. So you can't sleep with your siblings' husband or siblings' wives, that type of thing. But then also you can't sleep with family members. And by incest, this also means if you have a traceable common ancestor, right? So I have cousins who are my cousins because we have the same ancestor 8 to 7 generations removed. but they're my cousins. We can never marry each other. We can't have relationships, anything like that. Not that I'm trying to, that type of thing, right? Once you have that traceable ancestor, even if you don't know and you can't trace it, unfortunately, it all kind of counts in that same bucket. So Anna, the earth, is very against incest. She's against bloodshed, human bloodshed. Some say animal bloodshed as well, right? And so when animals are killed, I was gonna do so when I pick my videos, I usually go based off what everybody is commenting on YouTube. And so I know you guys are commenting, by the way, I'm going to get to it. So keep the questions coming. If you have questions, I'm going to get to it. But I can only do one thing at a time. But so I thought that I was going to do a video on IGN based on the request, but I put it up for vote on Patreon. Everything, an unexpected victor won, or two unexpected victors. So I'm going to put them up for vote very soon for the public to see the next video. But if you understand IGN, when an animal is killed, right, and the blood comes out, and you also have to remember this is a society where people kill their own food, right? Like most societies in the world, you're killing your own food. So the interaction with blood is not a strange thing. Like we as Americans, like I'm an American, right? And one of the things I noticed was that, there's a squeamishness about blood. And then on top of the squeamishness about blood, there's a squeamishness about like the idea of even eating an animal, right? So you go to an animal, you don't even want to smell it. You go to Walmart, there's no smell in the poultry section. You're around a bunch of dead cows and then none of them smell. They don't have any blood on them, that kind of thing. And then that's how we as Americans feel, okay, we can eat this one, which is strange. But but back home, that type of thing. So a lot of times when the animal is cut, the blood is offered to the ancestors as a part of a meal rather than just being poured on the floor or rather than just being disposed of or